Hello everyone, in today's video I will briefly be talking about 3 death row inmates who have had extreme transformations while on death row. It could be from age, sickness, or something else. Comment below which inmate you think had the most drastic transformation. First on the list is Alva Campbell. Alva Campbell was born on April 30th, 1948. He was sentenced to death for killing 18-year-old Charles Diles. On April 2nd, 1997, Alva pretended to be paralyzed, so he was put in a wheelchair and transported to court to face his aggravated robbery charge. When he made it to court, he overpowered a sheriff's deputy, stole her gun, and left the courthouse on foot. Alva then stopped 18-year-old Charles Diles and got in his car, forcing him to drive for several hours. After Charles had driven for a long while, Alva requested that he get on the floor bed of the truck, but Charles refused. Angered, Alva fatally shot him 2 times. Alva was scheduled to die multiple times, but his execution kept getting rescheduled. Finally, on November 15, 2017, he was set to die by method of lethal injection, but the executioners were unable to find a vein for the IV. Because of this, they had to reschedule his execution one more time. It was rescheduled for June of 2019, but on March 3, 2018, at the age of 69, 20 years after being sentenced to death, Alva died of natural causes. He had lung disease, asthma, heart problems, and cancer. Second on the list is Doyle Hamm. Doyle Hamm was born on February 14, 1957. He was sentenced to death for killing a man by the name of Patrick Cunningham while in the course of a robbery. On January 24, 1987, Doyle went on a crime spree, robbing multiple locations. When he finally made it to the Anderson Motel in Alabama where Patrick worked, he killed him with a .38 caliber pistol he had stolen in a robbery earlier that day, and then fled with $350 he was able to gather from the cash register. Before leaving the motel, he decided to dig through Patrick's pockets and stole $60 out of the wallet. A day after killing Patrick, he was apprehended and charged with capital murder. In February of 2014, Doyle, who was still on death row, was diagnosed with lymphatic and cranial cancer and hepatitis C. There was a tumor found behind his left eye and abnormal lymph nodes in his lungs, chest, and abdomen. Despite doing chemo and other treatments, his cancer ended up getting worse by 2017. Still feeling ill, Doyle's execution was scheduled in February of 2021. Almost 3 hours were spent finding a vein, and the executioners tried finding veins in his legs and ankles. His execution was botched, and it was called off after he collapsed. It turned out that his femoral artery and bladder were punctured. On March 5, 2018, Doyle's attorneys filed an amended civil rights lawsuit against the Alabama Department of Corrections. On March 26, 2018, the state of Alabama reached a confidential settlement. 30-plus years after killing Patrick, at the age of 64, on November 28, 2021, Doyle died in prison of cancer-related complications. For the third and final story, we have Russel Bucklew. Russel Bucklew was born on May 16, 1968. Back in late 1995, early 1996, Russell was dating a woman by the name of Stephanie Ray. The two eventually broke up, and Stephanie moved in with a man by the name of Michael Sanders so she could be protected and have a roof over her head. In March of 1996, Russell took Stephanie against her will and sexually assaulted her. He did not kill her, but he did kill Michael Sanders. For his crimes, he was sentenced to death. While on death row, Russell appealed his sentence because he said the lethal injection method was unconstitutional. Missouri had changed its protocol for death sentences by lethal injection from one drug to multiple drugs. Russell was diagnosed with a rare blood vessel disorder called cavernous hemangioma, and the disease can cause tumors in the head and can cause regular bleeding from the mouth, nose, eyes, and ears. Governor Mike Parson denied Russell's last plea for a stay of execution, and the Missouri Supreme Court scheduled an execution date for October 1, 2019. During the execution, they took extra precautions because of Russell's disease, so they elevated the head of the gurney to prevent blood being clogged in his throat from a tumor that had a chance of bursting. He was also sedated with Valium before the execution. Thank you all for watching another episode of Death Row Executions. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon or YouTube memberships. I appreciate your support and see you all for the next video.